Good morning. Delivery of the Mitsubishi Strada from Hakihudo has just arrived and let's check it out. Salamat kay Christian pati kay Kuya Raymond sa pag-deliver nitong Strada. So good afternoon guys, look at what we have for review today. It is the newest 2019 Mitsubishi Strada. This has the new body design. I believe it has been facelifted and the whole Strada look has just been transformed into this beautiful Montero-esque looking body. To be very honest with you guys, this might be one of the most beautiful pickups I have ever seen. This one is in the graphite gray metallic color and it just shines on through. Ang ganda talaga niya guys. It is really beautiful. Even I was amazed. I am a Navara user, personal user myself, but when I saw this, I was just so surprised at how long it was, how it had factory roll bars installed in the car. Mitsubishi fit the newest Strada with 18s. We'll go more into that later, but they are just perfect for this size pickup. It is huge, it is long, it is high. I believe the pickups have a really worthy competitor right here. So to start things off, this is the 2.4 liter double overhead cam diesel unit which produces 178 horsepower. This one has the new 6-speed automatic tranny. This is the 4-wheel drive version and the SRP is a whopping 1.6.5 million pesos, which is a bit higher than the other variants, but considering that it is the highest model available, I think it is worth it. It is really long guys. Ang haba talaga niya. So we would just like to thank this opportunity to thank Mitsubishi Motors for lending us this car for this review. So let's start with the front of the car. Basing from that Montero that I reviewed a few months ago, it is actually very similar. If I was to compare the two, standing right here in front, I don't think I would differentiate that it was a Strada aside from these fog lamps, but even then they're not noticeable or different enough for me to actually tell the difference between the two models. So as per observation, I noticed that they have a sensor, a parking sensor here on the front near the plate numbers and the grille. They're on two opposite sides. I do believe that this was a long overdue facelift for the Strada because imagine the Wild Track Ranger came out early 2016 or so, the Navaras came out 2016, and Mitsubishi somehow kept the old model Strada till 2018. However, I do think that it is worth it because man, I cannot stress how beautiful and how huge and long this car is. And as for the wheel and tire setup of the Strada, they come with Dunlop Grand Trex 265/60s R18s. The front have disc brakes while the back have drum brakes. We will show you that in a little bit. But initially I thought the wheels, well, the mags were much bigger than how they were. I did not expect them to be any smaller than 18s. So as for the suspension, we have independent double wishbone in the front. However, in the back we have leaf spring types, meaning this is still the old model suspension for these pickups. So suspension and comfortability wise, mas komportable pa rin yung Navara due to its multi-link suspension. This is a bit more comfortable than the Hilux upon driving it, but you do feel it if you know the comparison. But if you don't, hindi mo naman siya masyado mapapansin. However, I think the leaf type suspension can carry more weight. So that's a plus for people who haul a lot of stuff. But as for the comfortability rating, maybe not so. So as for the rear end of the Strada, it does come with really nice looking taillights. I like this extended bumper type here, which is not on the other pickups. The parking sensors are here in the back. There's 4 of them. And MiVec is a feature that has been in the modern Mitsubishis. It is their clean diesel feature for these cars. And as for the pickup bed of the Strada, it looks huge, but unfortunately it can only carry 945 kilograms, which is less than the Chevrolet Colorado, the Ford Ranger, the Hilux, and even the Nissan Navara. But it does look big. That's what I can tell you. It does come with hooks on all sides, meaning you can tape over any type of mesh that you have over stuff in the back. It does come with a factory bed liner as well. And as for the wading depth of the car, meaning kung gaano kataas yung flood na kaya niyang sakupin, it is 600 millimeters, 100 lower than the Navara. and a few hundreds lower than the Ranger. Well, 200 lower than the Ranger. However, that's okay because 600 millimeters is still a lot. And the one thing that I wanted to showcase was this roll bar. Ang ganda ng roll bar niya. Usually, with the other pickups, you're gonna have to have them installed aftermarket or by casa, pero mahal. But this one is actually pretty nice. Pero considering that it is the highest variant, they should actually provide it. There's a Mitsubishi Motors engraved logo right here. And as for its price tag of 1.6 million, you will get a beautiful, beautiful pickup model that is long, that is high, and well, if I were to get one, I would get one in this specific color. The front just looks so modern and futuristic. Nothing, I honestly think it might be one of the best looking pickups on the market right now, aside from the Ford Raptor, but that of course is in a higher tier. But I think you are getting your bang for the buck in this car because you see it and it doesn't even remind you of a Mitsubishi. It reminds you of a bigger type of American pickup is what I can depict from it. It is just huge. It looks so huge and I cannot stress enough on that. Although looking here, it does kind of remind you of a Ford Ranger, doesn't it? And one feature I forgot to mention were these DRLs. Kind of reminiscent of the old daylight of the Montero. It comes up in a stripe and then upwards here. Still very futuristic in my opinion. I believe Mitsubishi has a really good designer when it comes to small details like this. So now let's move on over to the interior of the Montero. So upon unlocking the car, the side mirrors automatically come out. So that's a pretty good feature. So upon entering the car, it does come with a smart key function, meaning you press on this area right here and the car automatically locks or unlocks. So in this case, nag-lock siya. One more to unlock the car. The blinkers go on and we are greeted with a beautiful, beautiful leather interior. This is actually real leather right here. The seats are leather as well. And it is just a jet black, very, very sleek interior. We will be getting more on that in a little bit. So we are inside now. Upon entering the interior of the Strada, I honestly don't see much differences from the Montero, but it's the same naman with the Hilux and the Fortuner, the Navara and the Terra, and so. So I believe for what it's worth, maganda siya. Talagang maganda siya. And we will be getting more on that in a second. So the Montero does come with a push to start system. So you just put your key here. And it isn't really common, but the push to start is actually not in this area right here. It is on the left. And the Strada automatically starts. So upon starting the car, you're immediately greeted with the Strada symbol that is coming around as a digital graphic and the Mitsubishi Motors logo. So being inside this car, my initial thoughts are that it is actually very nice. Interior wise, I would rate this an 8 to 9 over 10. But if you are expecting anything different than the than the Montero, then there is really not. So for the door sides, these are leather. The seats are leather and these are plastic, but they're meant to look like leather as well, and I think they captured the essence of leather very nicely. The steering wheel is wrapped in leather, real leather as well. It is very, very beautiful. And if we look over here, we are greeted with I'm not sure if this is carbon. This is plastic, pero it gives off a carbon type of feel, which I think looks very, very elegant. A nice feature that they have in the Strada, which I'm surprised that they did not have in the Montero, is this handbrake. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but it comes with a manual handbrake, maybe due to its off-road capabilities, but wala sila ng automated handbrake that they have in the Monteros. So I'm glad to see this back actually in a pickup where it should be. So we will start with the gauge cluster of the Strada. I think I could say that it is the exact gauge cluster in the Montero, meaning you have eco mode. So what we have here that's new in the gauge cluster is the 4-wheel drive system. So simply turn on the knob and it automatically goes into 4 high. You push it down and then it goes into 4 high low. However, with this setting, you can go ahead and choose from gravel, mud and snow, sand, and back to gravel again. If you push it more a little further, you go into 4LL mode, which is I believe 4 low. You have the choices of sand, rock, gravel, mud and snow, and it turns off your traction control and your parking sensors. So this is best used up in the mountains or when you are trekking. So a very good feature by Mitsubishi there. I'm not sure if the Rangers have that, however I am personally very impressed. So you go back into park and it automatically comes back into the 2H mode. The Montero and the Strada, I think, is one of the most advanced SUVs and pickups that we do have in terms of the steering wheel controls, because these are just bombarded with so much controls. You have your cruise control settings right here, and then you have your source for your infotainment, you have your volume, and then you have your corresponding buttons here to change the song. You also have paddle shifters, which are extremely impressive in my opinion, because it's like I was driving this the other day and I felt as if I was in a European or Italian sports car, wherein I only needed these paddle shifters to shift when I was in manual mode. So that, I think, is very impressive. It is extremely beautiful and well designed. Props to Mitsubishi for that. So as for the infotainment, you are greeted with a touchscreen head unit that has radio, navigation, iPod, mirror. Mirror is a nice feature in the Montero that I used, wherein it can mirror your cell phone as if it was an AirPlay, Bluetooth, USB, aux in, and set up the usual stuff. So I automatically connect my phone and it just shows up and reflects on here, so that is very impressive as well. So here we are outside of the Strada. We enter the rear seats and you're automatically greeted with a beautiful cup holder in the middle, as compared to the Navara, wherein the cup holder was on the front. So I think what this is, the message that this is sending is that pang-apat lang talaga na seater itong kotse na to. If you have a baby or a kid, baka pwede pa to fit them in the middle. However, I think you are most comfortable in this car if you were just 4. However, for rear passengers, it is quite known that with pickups, it's not supposed to give you the best ride when you are in the back. However, pwede na siya. So as for the rear controls right here, we have your USB output, which is fairly impressive because there are 2 slots. That is very nice. And here it is, the aircon controls on the top. It seems as if it has the exact same controls of the Montero, except that this is a pickup, so the Strada. So same lang siya, this is down and this is up. So comparing it in the rear aircon of other pickups, what they usually have are louvers here that are connected to the aircon in front. These, however, have their own aircon settings, so props to Mitsubishi for that. Kayo lang ata nakaisip nun, otherwise I could be mistaken. But I'm very impressed, so props to you guys. This is the 2.4 liter 4.15 NIVIC diesel engine of the Montero. The turbo is right here, the airbox is right here. So it is a pretty huge engine bay, and that, I think, explains the huge front end of the car. It is fairly quiet. Alright guys, so we are in the newest Strada. We are taking it for a test drive this morning. So as for the suspension of the vehicle, it's very comfortable. But if you compare it to, let's say, the Navara and other pickups, syempre mas komportable yun. Pero if you compare to a Hilux, doon ko siya medyo napapansin, lalo na for the person in the rear seats. For example, my sisters, sa Hilux ayaw nila sakyan yung likod. For the Navara, ayaw rin nila, pero ganun talaga yung offset with getting a pickup. However, I do recommend it kasi it's still fairly comfortable. Acceleration is okay. The acceleration is definitely better than the Navara's acceleration. Same with the Conquest, medyo similar sila. So thank you guys for watching this review. If you guys have any other recommendations as to what we should review, please comment it down. If I have any other mistakes, please correct me because I am learning about the car as well. So thank you guys. I'm looking forward to the next one. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much.